Hey, what's up guys? This is Mr. Mo, and today I'm going to show you a simple workflow that I figured out using the texture builder and the sculpt tools to create a simple ring. But before I do that, I'd first like to say a huge thank you to all the people that watched my previous video on the first look at Matrix 9. Thank you so much guys, it really means a lot. I can't believe so many people have watched that video. And if you haven't seen that video yet, go ahead and click the link that says Matrix 9 preview and it'll take you right there. Okay, with that business out of the way, let's take a look at the texture builder. So all I've done here is swept a simple ring that has a profile width of 4 millimeters and a profile height of 2 millimeters. And then to start the builder, all I'm going to do is select my ring and import that into that first window. And then I'll click under the second window to choose my texture, which I'm going to choose this marble pattern. We'll open that up. And then for some reason the builder didn't start, so I'm just going to select my ring again and we'll put that back in the window and that should start up. Yeah, there we go. So here all I'm going to do is change this panel type up to high, and then you get more definition in your texture. Let that update, takes a second. And then I'm going to change my tile X value to 5, and that's going to change the repetition of the texture in the X-axis. And then I'll do the same thing for the Y-axis, and this does take a little bit to update, so bear with me. Y value is 10. From here, I'm going to change the rotation, and I'm going to put a rotation of 25 on this, and that will get the texture going at a slight angle, which I think looks a little bit better. All right, next thing is the black height and white height, and these values will change the positive and negative in your grayscale image. And you can define how recessed you want your black parts to be and how raised you want your white areas to be. I'm just making small adjustments to these values because if you go too crazy, you can get a very weird looking object that wouldn't be anything you'd want to print or cast. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And then from here, I'm going to determine that I don't want texture on the inside of the shank. So I'm going to go ahead and use the sculpt tools now, and I'll show you how those work to get rid of that texture on the inside. Another thing to note here with this builder, as soon as you hit enter, it's going to make a mesh texture right over your original surface. And you'll see what I mean here in a second. I'm going to drag that mesh away from the original surface, and there's my original swept ring. And so you can keep that or you can delete it if you want. I'll just keep it, and I'm going to change my texture on a different layer color. And then I'll just turn off that metal one layer. Now let's check out these sculpt tools. Okay, so to start sculpting on this, I'm going to come up to the art menu and find Clayoo Sculpt. We'll click that, and then your command line will prompt you to select your objects. And so we'll highlight our ring and hit enter. All right, and then we have our brush palette up here at the top of the screen. And there are a few to choose from, the first being the regular brush. And then we have crease, flatten, inflate, pinch, smooth, twist, drag, and then the last option is to enable the hotkeys. To smooth out the inside of our textured band, we're going to use the smooth tool. I'm just going to change my radius and lower that down just a bit to make sure it's not overlapping onto the sides of the ring. And then I'll also activate the symmetry command so that we really only have to work on one side of the ring. And all I'm doing here is holding down the left mouse button and just move your mouse back and forth. And then I'll let go and spin it around and just keep on going here. If you want to dial up the intensity, this will increase the amount of transformation in the brush. Okay, and so I'll just keep spinning this around and smoothing out. And so this workflow is really fast to get rid of the texture on the inside of this band. And it's also a pretty good introduction into how the sculpt tools work. So I encourage you to go ahead and try it out yourself and see what you think. Especially if you aren't familiar with how sculpting tools work, if you've never tried any other programs like ZBrush or Mudbox. I'm gonna also smooth out the sides of the ring. And to do that, I just want to make sure that the radius size of my brush is turned down enough so that none of that white circle is actually going on top of the ring. I'll just lower this radius and then just smooth out on the sides here. And this is fairly quick and easy to do. Smoothing out the sides and the inside of the shank is good so that you have a place to add your supports for 3D printing and also a place to apply your sprue. On a ring like this, I would put a sprue, a little hook sprue on the inside of the shank. And that way you don't have to worry about messing up your pattern on the outside of the ring. Okay, so from here, if you're done, which I'm going to say that this looks good to me. In order to turn the sculpt mode off, you just click on Clayoo Sculpt again, and then you can close out this menu and you're all set to go. Okay, that's my easy workflow for creating simple rings with Texture Builder and Clayoo Sculpt. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching.